Hi, my name is Mark Hart. Welcome to my home, Chilliwack, BC, one of the most beautiful and friendly cities in Canada. Chilliwack is also one of the fastest growing cities in Canada, and a large part of this is coming from an influx of new Canadian families, each bringing a part of their cultural heritage to our community. In collaboration with the Chilliwack Local Immigration Partnership, this video series aims to explore the stories of these newcomer families. How? Through the universal language of food, by baking together and breaking bread together. As a professional baker and owner of Rise Baking Lab, a small baking school in Chilliwack, BC, I'll be spending time baking with these newcomers. We'll dive into their culinary heritage, but more than that, we'll uncover their personal journeys along the way. Our journey will culminate in a grand celebration where the stars of the series, the newcomers themselves, will cater the event, showcasing Chilliwack's growing cultural diversity. Join me in celebrating the rich and growing tapestry of cultures that make Chilliwack such a vibrant community. Welcome to the second episode of Breaking Bread. I'm really excited about our guest. She's an activist, she's an advocate, she's a Red Seal Journeyperson, and she's an all-around inspiring woman. Ghazaleh Nozamani, welcome to the show. First things first, what are we going to make today?
Well, we're going to make a Kuku Sabzi.
Okay, and this is like an egg dish similar to what we would have, like a frittata or that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just different herb. Chop it with the onion and other kind of spices, mix it with the egg and just fry it on a pan. And easy to go, basically.
What kind of occasion would you be eating this on? Is this just an everyday kind of meal that you have, or?
Well, it depends on the family taste. You know, can go as appetizer, can go as a light dinner, can go as a main dish for lunch. Yeah. You know, but not definitely for breakfast.
No. Excellent. So let's start off. So what we have to do, what we've got. Let's just talk about what ingredients we have, and then we'll start chatting as well while we cook. So the one ingredient we've got here. What are these guys?
Well, this is a Persian chive, as you can see. You cannot find in any Canadian store such as this chive. It's usually they are coming in a small package and they are very narrow.
Yeah, different than our chives that we have here.
Yeah, so they are thicker and they are wider. I bought this from Persian store actually today, but if we don't have it, we can use the leek. Okay. Because it's quite a bit similar taste. It's a little bit going to be spicier. Okay. But it's safe.
It works. If you can't get your hands on these, a leek is a good alternative.
You can use leek.
Okay, and then we're gonna slice these all up. And we're gonna get them in the pan, and is there any cooking of the vegetables before we start?
Okay. No, it's gonna be all raw, mix it with the spices and egg in the bowl, and when they mix it together nicely, then we put the pan with a little bit of water, let it to be hit and get warm, and then we add it and let it to fry, flip it. That's it.
And then we eat it, then we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's start chopping some of these up, and while we start, let me just ask you how long you've been here in Canada.
Well, since 2017 July.
Okay, so good. It's about 7 years.
Almost.
Yeah, awesome. And what we're going to try to talk about a bunch today is housing. This is what you're involved a lot in. But before we get into that topic, let's talk also a little bit about your story of when you got here, what you did. Where are you from?
Yeah. Well, I am from Persia, which is everybody known as Iran.
Yes.
I call Persian not just because I want to be racist. No, it's not goes with that. It's just reminding me nicer civilization and past of my country.
Right. Some history.
Yeah, some history aspect, not because of not including any other tribe, which is they are living in the country. It's just historical.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what did you do in Iran?
Well, I was software engineer.
A software engineer. Okay. And I think just from our conversation, this is a common story that you came here as a software engineer, but you're not a software engineer here.
No, I mean, it's when I flee from my country, basically in 2009, I became a refugee in Cyprus. And then I started to work with the TV and radio station and Christianity's channel.
Okay.
So a little bit I have it.
Yeah. Okay. So you went to you left Iran in 2009 and went to Cyprus.
Yeah, as a refugee.
Okay.
So claimed the refugee situation, and then during the 8.5 years, I did lots of work because refugees really doesn't have any rights back there.
Okay.
It's an awful country for refugees.
Okay.
But then, because I am Christian and believer, I involved with the production on those channels.
Yes.
And start to producing the programs. And
then what brought you here?
Well, it's through the sponsorship. The church sponsored me in 2015 or 14. And the process started and then ended up to 2017.
So I'm going to start chopping while we're talking.
Oh, thank you.
So
do you want I chop?
Yeah, you chop. You show me how to chop. You're showing me how to do it. So how finally are we going to chop these?
Yeah. So I'm not going to cut my finger.
Okay. It's pretty sharp. Yeah, that's good. So it was a long process then to get sponsored to come here?
It was very long. And unfortunately, I heard to the news that even in Canada, it's declining all those sponsorship programs.
Yes.
And they are not anymore allowing any church or anybody sponsor anybody from any other country.
Okay, so it's getting more difficult.
Yes.
So when you started the process, were you heading to Chilliwack, right? Like that was the plan all along, was to come to Chilliwack?
It wasn't my plan because my sponsor, like basically in Chilliwack, the church that I was involved, so they rent a house here for me.
Right.
And me and my family, we settled here.
Okay, and when you settled here, you came and you had these skills, you had a career, and were you able to use that at all, or you weren't?
Well, I went to the different university and challenged my knowledge.
Okay.
And all of them, they were happy to have me.
Yeah.
But as a full-time student for 2 years, I should back to university to get my degree again and become qualified to work.
Yeah.
Which wasn't suitable for my lifestyle because I had a son that was starting grade 1 and then
going back to school and retraining wasn't really an option right after that.
No, because it's having $200,000 loan, which is have interest and etc. and being full-time students, how you are able to really make any sustainable life, you are already behind. So.
Yeah. So what did you do when you got here then?
I was just looking around and looking to the option. I was in Dollarama as a cashier and basically supervisor. And working in the food court in Chilliwack, which is not existing anymore.
But this is where you met somebody that made a big change in your life, right?
Exactly. I made my first mentor in Canada, and she came to me and said, "Hey, I think you're much clever than working in here." And I said, "Well, I'm looking for option," and she said, "My company hiring."
Okay.
And I said, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Mechanical installators."
Okay.
What is that?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
something totally new.
Yeah, exactly. And she showed me a couple pictures, and she suggested that I drive with her to one of her construction sites, and she showed me practical what she's doing. And if I like it, then all set. So.
And so you set off and you showed up at the construction site, and and that must have been a big shock, or not a shock, but a big change from what you've been doing.
It was, because I was used to working behind my computer.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless where I was. But then ended up to the construction, it felt hard.
Yeah.
You know? But I should stay strong if I want to build life for my family and myself, right?
Yes, and I know I've worked in construction before, and that it's for anybody, but particularly for women, is a little difficult of an environment to get used to and get into and get accepted in, and so that's a double challenge of you coming and getting into that, and so now you got into that and you did an apprenticeship then?
Yes. Then the company hired me, and the company was part of union, and I became a member automatically, and I went through that program. I started to study and earn the hours. I did the school because in my mind the school was so easy.
Yeah.
And then I got my red seal.
That's amazing. So how many years did it take you to get the red seal?
Well, usually is a 4-year process, but I got in 3 years.
That's amazing. So this is, I guess, a great opportunity in terms of that you're working and getting your qualifications. Like it would have been difficult to go back to school and not be working.
Yeah.
So
sorry I interrupt you,
No.
but some of the trade they need to have first training, which is much expensive.
Yeah.
But some of the trade not. So as you are working in a field, you are earning experience, and you don't need practically pay to your school because union usually pay a kind of packet money to you when you are attending to the school, and also EI is paying 70% of your wage.
Oh, okay.
And then it's interesting enough, if you finish your course and you pass, government also giving you grant.
Okay.
As appreciation.
This is a great path, and this is something I think that you're working to advocating for other newcomers as a path to being able to be financial sustainable, and so let me ask you a little bit about, so you have a nonprofit organization that you're running, and partly this is something that you're doing is working with newcomers to find housing and to find getting jobs, getting them into the trades, and so how did you decide to get into that, and tell me a little bit about what you do with that.
So when I came in here, basically the question was how I can build a sustainable life for myself. Right? And also how I can step to the ownership.
Yes. Ownership of a house. Yes.
You know, because already I was 39 and I didn't have a huge time to like limbo around. And okay, this is the plan. Okay, it doesn't work. So switch to another one. So I should be quick. When I got to this program through the trade, I saw that the pay is really good. Like I started $20 in 2017. And minimum wage was $11 something, I remember. So all of a sudden my income just jumped. Even with the gas and commuting between Chilliwack and Lower Mainland, still I can save. And well, I established a life. I bought my property and red seal, so we just start to growing and establish life. And I said, okay, I made a sustainable life, and now I can help someone. So I had this dream when I was refugee, but it's become stronger. So I created that nonprofit called Love Without Borders.
Love Without Borders. Okay.
So because I love everyone without borders. So this project basically aiming to create the housing, but is a new style. We are not promising to having kind of very huge space for anybody. For starts, we are making the tiny houses. It's a 40-45 square feet, but it's good enough for one person because it's safe. And then also we are laying out different trade paths in front of the person. So that person can choose which trade is suitable and pursue that. And
you're helping guide them towards those.
Exactly. So I can connect with all my network through different unions and all the wonderful people working with me out of this nonprofit, and they can work. And because this house says it's free for 1 year, that's just wonderful, right?
So this is a great
I didn't have that luxury.
So the idea is you have newcomers moving here, and you're trying to arrange a place for them to live at the same time as lining up a career for them in the trades.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then this house is, again, that's free for a year. So they don't need to be worried about the life expenses for a year. And the only things nonprofit expect from those participants, basically just save the money. To create sustainability for the following year.
So that they can hopefully work into get out of the tiny houses and get into the market.
Then yes, exactly. That is the goal. Yeah. Because I by myself, I paid rent. I bought the grocery. I mean, life expenses. So for me, it took longer. Yeah. For me, it took 2.5 years.
Trying to get people there quicker and streamline it.
But now they have 1 year. So in any trade, when they start, they can have after the year $50,000 in them.
You can be
hand cash.
You don't have any expenses.
They don't have utilities. Everything is undercover from the nonprofit. And after the year, when they have $50,000, easily a newcomer, they are qualified for purchase the first place for themselves in Canada with the 3% actually a down payment.
Okay.
And then we have other programs that help them to also pay more than that. Like if the bank has programs for newcomers, they can put $5,000 and then they withdraw.
So you're trying to connect them with government programs.
Exactly. Well. We have a lot of information and good assistance in Canada. Yeah. Created by government, but unfortunately, because it's all over the places, hard to track.
Right, and you're coming here, you're brand new, and where do you start? And you need somebody to kind of help you figure it out.
Exactly. So we are trying to just create the umbrella to over top of all this information and awesome assistant, and just introduce to the people as a package.
That's fantastic. So back to the food here. I take it that you're not like measuring cups and teaspoons. Yeah. You're just tossing stuff in here.
I am.
So we've got the chive here.
Right.
We've got some dill
and I need more.
And cilantro.
Cilantro.
Okay.
I need a bit more. And
I
think that's
a little bit more dill. You want me to pick a few off?
That's good.
Okay. And so this is just, according to taste. You like more dill, you throw more dill.
Exactly.
In. Amazing.
I think that is good enough.
And so now we're gonna just chop those up a little bit.
Yeah, and then mix it in the bowl.
Okay, and then we're gonna eyeball some eggs in here. Exactly. I guess is what we're gonna see, so that just getting the right consistency. We'll try to show people exactly how this is gonna work.
Well, I'm good in the politics, but not good.
We're just cooking here as a means to have a great conversation, I think. So we're just trying to.
No, it's a great experience for me too, Mark.
Yes.
Believe me.
So something else that I found out about you is that you're working on a book.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that book, it's my real life.
Okay.
Since I born.
Okay, it's like a memoir.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this book started from when the COVID started, and my author started to record and interview me.
Yeah.
And she's very awesome. And it's my journey, and it's called I Dare to Dream.
I Dare to Dream. Okay, that sounds great. And so tell me a little bit about the process of doing this, of it must be a difficult thing to do, as I know you have a very intense story of background of your life, of your life in Iran, and your whole story from there to getting here. And so that must have been a really difficult process to go through. Mm-hmm. And you were talking a little bit about having an outlet to be able to heal, to be able to get your story out and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty heavy story that you have.
Yes.
Yes.
So without wanting to upset the audiences, I mean, I'm just trying to be.
No, you're not worrying. We're not worrying about that. We're sharing your story. This is part of what we're doing here, is trying to get stories out and share people's experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's I grew in very democratic family, and they always encouraged me. They didn't really care. I am woman and I'm a girl. Unfortunately, the authority back in my country, women's is very limited.
Yeah.
And that is kind of got me to the conflict with the system.
Right.
Because
right.
What I kind of learned from home, it was different than school or society.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should be constantly wear the mask, basically.
Yeah.
And
Right.
pretending.
Mm-hmm.
And
but you didn't want it.
And I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know?
You're standing
I am
up.
who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I stood up in 1999 in front of Islamic Iranian government and attended the students' protest.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I got arrested and ended up to the detention.
Yeah.
And under detention, unfortunately, I got mental and physically tortured. I was 20 years old, and it's the horrific experience as a 20 years old girl.
Yes.
And well, I found myself on the cell. There is no way to escape.
Right.
And I tried to survive.
Yeah.
And I did that.
And I mean, this is a huge story. Obviously, hence writing a book to get into it. Obviously, there's so much to it. But from then to those protests, and you were detained, and how did you end up then leaving the country, and what were the events kind of leading up to that?
Long story short is that after that they left me on a countryside in a desert side, half naked, full of blood, and somebody found me, which is because I am a believer. I believe that was the angel of God, honestly, because that area was criming area. So that old man has just handed me half alive to my family.
Yeah.
And 18 months I was sick, mentally and physically, and after that I started attending to my usual activity,
mm-hmm.
and try to organize orphanage children and women's rights back in country. Unfortunately, after 10 years, and also they kicked me out of the university.
Okay.
But after 10 years, they officially gave me expel order from university.
Okay.
And also they back with the threat that is to my mom actually in 2009.
So you had to leave.
I should leave. Yeah. They just threat that if we catch her in a second time, you are not gonna see even the body.
Okay.
So the family decided that I should flee, and with lots of struggles and connection, finally they took me out of the country, and I ended up in Cyprus, claimed the refugees. And there is another trauma started as a refugee, because Cyprus is not like Canada, respecting to the human rights.
Right. Cyprus
just looking to the numbers and getting money from human rights organization for individuals. So.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, there is established to stand for refugee rights.
Yeah.
And organize the protest in front of the Iranian Islamic Republic of Iran, and fight. And
yeah. You probably never, I'm going to get the frying pan started here so it can start heating up. But you probably never imagined then that you would probably, I'm sure you'd never heard of Chilliwack.
No.
It's not a global name, Chilliwack, but you probably never imagined you'd end up here. Are we putting some garlic in here?
Yes.
Okay. We'll chop some up?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sure.
And then it's just a little bit of the flavor, depend on your...
Just to thicken it up, because we're adding eggs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And...
Oops.
Yep, okay. And a little bit pepper. Depend on your taste. Do you want kind of spicy? Add more. If you don't want, don't add it more.
Okay, okay.
And consider that the garlic is spicy too, so just...
Is generally the Persian cuisine spicy? Do you use much, is it hot? Is it spicy, or is it not so much?
It's not.
It's not.
We use more saffron actually, which is not spicy.
Not spicy, but it's...
but...
It's flavorful.
Exactly.
Yes,
and also the smell. And also it's healthy.
Yeah.
Did you know that if you are not you need good sleep and relaxing.
Yeah.
As saffron tea is a
Saffron
solution.
tea. Okay. Now here, saffron is quite expensive. But I guess it depends. You probably get it at the Persian market. Do you
Yes,
get it? Okay.
I do.
And because I know at the grocery store, it's more expensive than tea that I can afford to
I
make.
guess
But
let me give you some tips also,
are we
because
doing onion?
we can just do the
A little
quarter
bit?
actually.
A quarter of an onion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So saffron is produced in many countries,
Yeah.
like Afghanistan, Iran,
Mhm.
and part of Italy also producing
Okay.
saffron. But pure saffron is for Iran. The saffron is coming from Italy, so
From Italy. Okay.
it's not saffron.
Okay.
It's
It's a
not
different
saffron.
variety of.
So-
So it's not 100 as quite as expensive.
And they are expensive.
Oh, they are
actually.
still expensive. Okay. Okay.
Because they are producing by your kind of European country.
Right.
So the currency
Right.
kind
Right.
of differences
Okay.
make them higher,
Yeah.
and then transportation to here, and
Okay.
it's not good quality either. So I
Okay,
suggest whoever
okay.
wants to have a saffron,
Yes.
honestly, go
I
to
do
the.
really like it. It's a delicious flavor. But yeah, it's not as common here.
Thank you to chopping that. You
Yeah.
didn't let me to cry.
And then we mix this up, and then we're gonna toss in a few eggs.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
kind of crack until we get a right consistency.
Yes, exactly.
We don't cook this first. We put the eggs in
yes,
first.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Good that you mentioned. Otherwise, I forgot.
I like this. This is my style of just throwing it in there, and we'll have a recipe that has some approximate measurements here, so you can try this at home. But I think what hopefully you can see is that it's you just toss a bunch of stuff in here, check out the consistency.
I think that's good.
Okay, and we have some flour in there already.
Yeah.
And we're gonna use. You said we could use oil or butter for
Yes,
this.
I mean the butter is more delicious.
Butter's more delicious. Well, that's what we're going for. Is delicious. So
Okay.
let me just get this a little bit hotter here. I think.
Okay.
How, like, should it be sizzling when it hits the pan?
Yes,
Or yeah,
yes.
okay, so let's go a little bit higher, just like get it hot up. And we'll get a little butter in there. So the part of what you're doing here is this tiny homes.
Mm-hmm.
And from my understanding, it's not a simple thing to get this off the ground.
No.
In terms of working with the city, in terms of working with zoning and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the idea is tiny homes is it's a quick way to get people houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, get people housed.
In here it's pretty good. It's pretty new idea, but Europe and even US is long before they start this process.
Right.
It's cheaper, it's quicker, it's affordable,
Yeah.
and it's easy to put anywhere basically.
Right. Yeah. And you don't need a lot of land, and it's quick to put together. And I think a lot of people coming here are just looking for somewhere to live. They're not looking for a mansion. And this is a step into getting your own property.
Yeah, exactly. Because those are small, tiny areas is not forever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a house, but still you can use as a temporary shelter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just you are establishing some things for yourself. Even for Canadian, even they have child, it's not necessarily they need to kick them out.
Yeah.
The child pay the rent to somebody else. They can create those spaces in backyard and just give the space privacy, but at the same time able to help and assist them to build them life slowly.
But starting new ideas is not easy.
It's not.
Or it's not a new idea. New idea here.
It's new idea here because the people used to have a big spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard in one of the broadcasts, I heard as a joke like Canadian likes garage.
Yes. Yeah. There's enough garages to house everybody, I think, in Canada. More than enough garage to house everybody. Is this enough butter in here?
Yeah.
Need a little more?
A little bit more.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not easy. As a couple area in Canada, some of my friends in the government, they they really practically did that project, like in Vancouver Island.
Right, places that have already done it,
yeah,
and you're
for homeless
taking
projects.
some.
So I'm just pushing Chilliwack City for
Just
this
trying to make
process. I mean, yeah, they are not saying yes, they are not saying no. So.
Yes, but now you have goals to make this happen beyond just doing this organization. You have some big goals, I think.
Yeah, I do. I will. This is my goal to do across Canada. This project.
Shall I just toss this in here?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just throw it right in?
Yes, and then we're gonna flatten it.
Okay. It's not sizzling, so I don't think I've made the pan hot enough.
It's not enough.
That's okay. This thing is very powerful, so if I crank it up, it'll be sizzling in a second. So yeah, we just spread this out and we wait for it to kind of start cooking here?
Yes.
Okay. No lid? Just let it sit like this?
I think it's a no lid. No.
Okay, and then, that's okay.
No, it's a no lid.
Okay, and then we're gonna get it cooked on one side and then flip it over. So tell me about some of your goals that you have. I know you have some political goals.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm running as a city councilor in 2026. I am on my campaign right now.
Starting to get planning already for that.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Wow.
And hopefully in the future, bigger plan,
Beyond.
bigger kind of grow on a rank on the political, because I have, could you believe it or not, but I have a 3 different continents political experience.
Okay. So. Yes. And so instead of working away trying to convince other people and the government to follow your plans, you want to get into the government and make change that way.
Amen.
That's very inspiring. That's incredible. That looks pretty good to me, but I don't know. It's got to be a little more.
Yeah.
Is it hot enough or a little hotter?
A little bit needs to be hardened.
Harder. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to come apart when we try it. We're going to flip it.
Yes. We're going to flip it, and then we're going to add these beautiful red
what are they?
berries, which is English.
Barberry?
Did you read the package?
No, I read. We talked about the recipe. Yeah. I think they were called barberry.
Yeah, barberry.
What are they called? What do you call them?
In Farsi, zereshk.
Okay. I'm gonna try that one. But and what can I taste them, or are they good raw, or are they?
It's sour.
Sour. I love sour.
Okay, so who wants to have it a little bit sweet? They can add the sugar and fry it.
It tastes like a cranberry almost. A little bit, like in the sourness of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. And so when does this get involved in the dish? When we flip it over?
When we flip it over, we can just add it there, and a little bit of saffron here.
Yeah.
We just made it.
So we took the saffron, we smushed it up, and added some hot water.
Yes.
Just to extract
like
the flavor.
Like a tea.
Okay.
It's just good.
And then we're just gonna pour that on.
Just a little bit.
Okay, just for the flavor.
Just flavor and smell.
Okay.
And then walnuts. So these two is optional.
Yeah. There's like a garnish.
Yeah. So it's not necessary we need to use it.
Okay.
So we're gonna put those, and then we lid it up. So with the steam and the kind of
soften them up.
Soften it, and then get also cooked the middle.
Okay.
Have time to cook on the middle as well, and then we're ready.
Okay. So how do we get this upside down? I know, like sometimes when I'm making them, I slide them onto the lid and flip it upside down. But are we gonna put it on the lid and then flip the whole pan? I have a lid under here. I don't know what I usually do on that kind of thing.
That's not gonna drop the oil, does it?
No, I think that'll be okay. If I can kind of hold it this way,
okay.
Slide it on, or do you want to go on this and then slide it
off?
off?
That is better.
Okay. Let's see.
I
have some oven mitts over here. Maybe we'll.
Yeah.
Do you want me to try, or you want to try to do it?
Please do it.
Okay. I think. Let me see how slippery this is. A brand new pan, so it's should be pretty slippery.
Probably a plate, bro.
A plate?
Yeah.
Than this?
Yeah.
Yes.
The plate was I'm gonna.
Do it.
I got it. Yeah.
All right, we'll
Here. Huh?
Okay.
that smells so good. And are we gonna put a lid on top of it
Yes.
to steam this up a little bit?
Yes.
And when does the saffron go on?
It is just right now.
Okay. I think I have a lid down here. I do. Excellent. Okay, this is gonna smell quite amazing. And you just place the walnuts around.
Yeah. So if anyone has an allergy to the nuts, please don't eat nuts.
And then we're gonna get the lid on here.
Yeah.
Get it a little cooked up.
Yeah. Here you go.
Okay.
And just bring down the.
Bring it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I can smell the saffron coming off this. It smells fantastic. And so now we just need to cook it through.
Yeah.
Steam up these, and then it's ready. And how do you serve this? I know we made a little appetizer before, which was
Nargisi.
and like a steamed spinach
Yeah.
and that. And do you eat this with a bread, or do you eat this?
Yes, practically we're gonna slice it. Just make it smaller pieces, and then serve on the plate.
Yeah.
You can make your garnish also separately on the oil, so you can put on beside
And
kind of.
Heat them up, or
Yeah, just fry it.
fry it up. Okay.
Yeah, fry it up. And then put it as a decoration on the side of your plate with it.
Okay.
It's such a
Yeah.
depend on
And are there other things that you would eat
And
alongside this dish? Just bread, or?
bread and yes,
Okay.
that's it.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah.
This is a question I'm going to give for everybody. The show's called Breaking Bread, kind of a symbolic kind of thing. What does that generally look like, for you, for your family, sitting down and having a meal together? Is this something that you would kind of share together and that kind of thing? And
Yeah,
sitting down and
definitely. I mean, it's interesting that food brings the communities together.
yes.
The communities start from family. The family is a community.
Mm-hmm.
So we are practicing
It's your
our
own little
responsibility.
community.
Exactly. We are practicing our responsibility when we are in a family.
Yes.
And then creating another community when we are attending to work, and then that can extend to kind of your hobbies and etc. Like friends.
Mm-hmm. Well, your story is super inspiring. You're so brave for so many things that you're doing, for your journey, for the way you're getting involved, the way you're, reaching out and helping other people, the way that you're building community. It's such an inspiring story. It's incredible. So it's been a real pleasure having you here and
Thank
talking.
you.
It's been amazing, and I can't wait to give this a try as well. The
food is a key for creating any community. If you want to have a good community,
you gotta have good
make
food.
some food.
All right, well, let's give this a try. Let's see. Yeah, it's totally cooked.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
totally good.
Excellent. Okay, so we're just gonna chop it into 4 pieces and slide it out of the pan now,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna share it with our audience.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see what this is. I think I can slide it. Hopefully, I'm as good at sliding it out of the pan as I was for flipping it here. Let's see.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Oh, I lost my toppings here. Let's
Fine.
re-sprinkle them. There we go. We'll get a beautiful shot here. This is a beautiful dish with this red on top here. We can, you want to get a little shot there, Cal? All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been an inspiring conversation. A conversation I want to keep having. I know you have so much more to say, and I can't wait for your book to come out. I can't wait to vote for you.
Thank you.
And see all the wonderful things you have going in the
Thank
future.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.